Okay, we'll begin our presentation now. Hello, good morning, Mr. Segar and friends. Today we're going to present our topic. But at first, let me introduce my group name. My name is Krishna Yulianti and my friends Ruth Karina and Stephanus Andrew. So let's move to our topic, the Malaysia Ringgit. Next.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to explain about the Malaysia history. The Malaysian capital, Kuala Lumpur, lies in the western part of the peninsula about 25 miles from the coast. Malaysia is a federal state that became independent on 30 August 1956. Malaysia is a developing country in Southeast Asia, and its population are around 32.7 million. They use Malay and English as their daily language conversation. Now, I'll explain about the ringgit history. Malaysia's monetary unit is the ringgit. Since 1975, Malaysia's official currency has been the ringgit, also known as the Malaysian dollar. The currency symbol is RM and the currency code is MYR. The Central Bank of Malaysia, Bank Negara Malaysia, is the sole authority in Malaysia to issue banknotes and coins. Coins have denominations ranging from 5 to 50 cents, and the denominations of banknotes range from 1 to 100 ringgit. Most bills have images on the reverse that depict Malaysia's culture, natural wonders, flora and fauna, and technological and economic achievements. The ringgit became Malaysia's official monetary unit in 1946 when it replaced the straight settlement dollar, a colonial currency created in the mid-19th century.
From from January 2017 to From January 2017 until December 2021, the highest value of ringgit was on 28 March 2018. At that time, $1 is equal to 3.84 ringgit, while the lowest value of ringgit fell on March 23, 2020. And then at that time, $1 is equal to 4.4 ringgit. Next. In 2017, Malaysia economic performance expanded to 5.9% in 2017 as compared to 4.2% in 2016. In that year, Malaysia posted the strongest economic growth since 2014, fueled by rising export and higher private consumption. Malaysia trade grew at the fastest rate in 13 years in 2017. Malaysia total export for 2017 was 223.42 billion US dollar, that increasing 11.06% from 2016. And after that, private consumption in Malaysia was expanded by 7%, supported by continued wage and employment growth, the impact of other variables being equal, and increase in consumption raised GDP by the same amount. And then the impact of if export is more than import, is a country a trade surplus or positive trade balance and demand for ringgit is increasing. Next. In 2018, Malaysia had a number of issues, both external and domestic, resulting in a drop performance by previous year. The decreased inflation rate is expected to coincide with the country economic decline. According to BNN or Bank Negara Malaysia, the gross domestic product increasing by 4.7 in 2018, which was lower than previous year. The Malaysia economic faced major policy and political transition, owing in part to global trade tension and Malaysia history of changing government. In the month following the general election, uncertainly, our policy has slow growth. The new government policy, including budget institutional and government reform, while this policy change was required for long term, but this is caused a short-term economic growth trade-off. On the domestic front, supply disruption adversely impact activity in the mining and agricultural sector, as well as commodity export. And then on the external factor, export continue to provide an additional lift to growth. However, it's still lacking if we compare to 2017, mainly due to the moderate global growth momentum. Next.
In 2019, based on the World Bank, Bank Sentral Malaysia said Malaysia economic growth was 4.3% throughout 2019. The lowest indicated due to lower output of palm oil, crude oil, and natural gas, as well as declining exports amid the US-China trade war. The current account of the balance of payment in 2019 registered a smaller surplus of 14.3 billion Malaysia ringgit, or 3.8% of total GDP. Overall, performance registered a higher current account surplus 4.2% of GDP. The good account surplus was reduced to 28.1 billion Malaysia ringgit in 2019, but slightly higher versus 2018, 25.9 billion Malaysia ringgit. Expensive in import far outweigh growth in export. Labor force in Malaysia increased 2% to nearly 15.6 million person in 2019 as compared to 15.3 million person in 2018. Employed person increased to 297.4 in 2019. The monetary policy committee of Bank Negara Malaysia decided to keep the overnight policy rate at 3%. Bank Negara Malaysia decided to keep its overnight interest rate at 3%. The Monetary Policy Committee will continue to access the balance of risks to domestic growth and inflation to ensure that monetary policy remains conducive to sustainable growth amid and price stability. In quarter 4 in 2019, the economy grew only 3.6%. The economic downturn in quarter 4 2019 was mainly due to significant contraction in export, minus 3.1%, from minus 1.4%, which caused supply and demand to drop drastically. Meanwhile, private consumption continued to grow strong 8.1% from 7% in quarter 3 2019. Next. In 2020, based on the World Bank, Malaysia GDP growth rate for 2020 was minus 5.59%. Decline from 2019 is because COVID-19 pandemic that caused the economy to decline. Balance of payment, the current account surplus of the balance of payment shrunk to 7.6 billion Malaysia ringgit in 2020. A two-quarter spike in service deficit and moderation in goods surplus outweighed the decrease in secondary and primary income deficit. In 2020, the labor force participation rate in Malaysia was 68.4%. The labor force participation rate is defined the percentage of the population working or actively seeking work. In that year, the size of Malaysian labor force was approximately 15.67 billion. According to Bank Negara Malaysia, the country monetary policy in 2020 will focus on providing support to domestic economic growth in an environment of subdued prices, pressure at the COVID-19 pandemic, increased risks to the country growth outlook. BNM said Malaysia economic growth as measured by gross domestic product is projected at between minus 2% and 0.5% in 2020 against a highly challenging global economic outlook due mainly to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Malaysia Statistics Department noted the gross domestic product for the second quarter of 2020 shrank 17.1% from the marginal growth of 0.7% in the first quarter of 2020. This was due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which caused a decline in supply and demand. A sharp downturn in the economy was observed in April 2020, where GDP contracted to 28.6%, while May performance improved to negative 19.5% and continued to improve further in June, recording a minor contraction of negative 3.2%. In June 2020, Malaysia export performance signals a recovery in supply and demand from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. Next.
GDP growth turned positive in Q2 2021. The Malaysian economy expanded by 16.1% in the second quarter of 2021. Growth was supported mainly by the improvement in domestic demand and continued robust exports performance. The strong growth also reflected continued policy support and the low base from the significant decline in activity during the second quarter of 2021. For the second quarter as a whole, All economic sectors registered an improvement, particularly in the manufacturing sector. On the expenditure side, growth was driven by higher private sector spending and strong trade activity. The current account of the balance of payments registered a higher surplus of 14.4 billion Malaysian ringgit or 3.99% of GDP during the quarter. The higher surplus was on account of the larger goods surplus and the lower deficit in the secondary income account. The goods surplus widened to 40.7 billion Malaysian ringgit, supported by the stronger external demand, despite the impositions of domestic containment measures. The services account recorded a marginally larger deficit from 15.4 billion Malaysian ringgit decreased into 15 billion Malaysian ringgit due to larger deficits in transportation and other business services. This mainly reflected the higher investment income accrued to foreign companies and investors in Malaysia. In the labor market, improvements in conditions in the first half of the quarter was affected by the impositions of FMCO in June. For the second quarter as a whole, the unemployment rate remained elevated at 4.8%. This reflected a net employment decline 29,000 persons relative to the previous quarter amid a smaller labor force. Private sector wage grew by 2.4%, attributable mainly to the relatively low base in the second quarter of 2022. In the services sector, wages increased by 0.4%, driven by improvements in the transportation and storage and wholesales, also retail trade subsectors. In the manufacturing sector, wage growth was also higher at 6%, due to broad-based improvements in wages of both the export-oriented and domestic-oriented subsectors. Headline inflation is likely to average within the projected range of between 2 and 3% for 2021. Having averaged 2.3% year-to-date. Underlying inflation, as measured by core inflation, is expected to average below 1% over the year. The Monetary Policy Committee (MPC) of Bank Negara Malaysia during the MPC's final 2021 meeting decided to maintain the overnight policy rate or OPR at 1.75% after taking into account that risk to Malaysia's economic growth outlook remained titled to the downside on external and domestic factors and amid lingering COVID-19 pandemic concerns as the central bank expects the country's inflation to remain moderate. The first quarter of 2021, Malaysia shows a high GDP rate. This means that their demand are high that eventually strengthens their currency as well. The economic downturn in Q3 2021 was mainly due to the significant contraction from export as an impact of COVID-19. Finally, it's the end of our presentation. We're really sorry if there were any mistaken words or attitude we've done in our presentation. That's all from our group, and thank you so much for your time and attention, sir.